Try, you're taking second watch, correct?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. You wake up and you see who also has gotten up and is sitting up in his cot is Orek, who's sitting there and seems to just be looking around.
I approach Auric. None of his other family members are awake, correct?
They're fast asleep.
Auric, fancy a walk with me around the perimeter of camp?
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't hurt.
Right.
You lead the way.
Take him around the first point of the perimeter.
What's it like having a family? For one that you can depend on, count on? Is it always a burden, or are there moments of joy and belonging?
No, I'd say most of it's joy. Even the anger and frustration is joy.
Sounds like a life I might have led at one point, but have largely been away from. I could tell in my altered state, that your family is very close, and I take a second and sort of lean into my staff. You all are very, have a great care for each other. How old is your youngest?
She's almost 3.
And where do you hail from originally?
Well, we had a farm up north just outside of Angel View before they came and took it. I assume now we're going to be planting roots in Dire Hand.
And I lean my neck back toward the cave.
Who's they?
Soldiers came through and they need more food for the soldiers on the war front. We had a particularly fruitful season, and our farm was needed to help the war effort, and we were pushed out.
Is that in this part of the world, would you call it the law of the land, that any resources that need be kept by the war effort be taken?
Yeah, it's for country. It's our duty. My personal feelings about it really have no sway.
And yet someone as dutiful to your country is still not permitted to travel through it freely.
Not when you don't have proper documentation. We were pushed out rather quick. We couldn't take everything with us, and some things fell through the cracks.
I look out across the land.
These feeble boundaries that the great civilizations of the world put along the land.
Be careful how you speak. These laws keep people in order.
I usually only ask this to what you might consider the lesser beings of the land, like, well, the horse that we lost back there in the cave. But have you ever thought of a life beyond the bounds of this structured and organized world that, well, I suppose it's the only world you've ever known?
Are you talking about a life beyond the laws that keep things from happening, like what happened back there?
Or just beyond the laws of this country, Kaldur? Pronunciations sometimes get away from me when it comes to names of things.
Without the order of Kaldur, our world descends into chaos, and I am happy to pay any price to keep my daughter safe from things like that.
And what have you known of the chaos that it could fall into? Have you known of, beyond our recent experience back there, what is your familiarity with such chaos?
I know more than most. I know when the war first started and every soldier and town guard was taken up to the war front, many places were left unguarded and without law, and bandits roamed free. And my brothers were killed. Yes, that's the kind of chaos I know.
A very terrifying place to be. My condolences for your fallen brethren. I too know what it's like to have my homeland encroached upon. Though unfortunately, based on my own knowledge of the land around, it may have been your countrymen who encroached upon my homeland. All this to say, I think all the beings in this world are just trying to make their way the best they can. Live in the places that are familiar to them. Try to make a life for themselves. Do you agree with the way that the Kaldurians have been pushing outside the bounds of their native land?
Yeah, I think it's necessary.
You believe in the mission of the, I think you call them the new gods?
When the old gods died, it became our duty to do whatever we could to help the new gods have whatever control they needed over this world in order to make it a better place. When you have people who push back against that and hold on to ideas of the past that are no longer relevant, you end up hurting everyone.
Just take care that in the hand you extend to protect does not at the same time bludgeon the very innocent that you wish to preserve.
And I lean back on my staff as we round the last corner of the perimeter.
I think I'm going to dip back into my meditation.
All right. So you and Auric fall back asleep. As Olma, you wake up, and just at the beginning of your watch, you realize how late you guys actually went to bed. As just at the start of your watch, you can see with the storm clouds overhead just reaching out towards the horizon, you can just see in that tiny sliver between the horizon line and the clouds, a sun beginning to rise.